Once came from the place of compromise and restlessness, and he ended up in Rehoboth, a place of rest. The second thing that Isaac learned is to not only hear God, but to listen to God's voice and do what it said. Genesis 26, we can read verse 22. It says, and he moved from there and dug another well, and they did not quarrel over it. So he called its name Rehoboth, because he said, for now the Lord has made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. Is to be set up on a firm and permanent basis. The dictionary also says that to be established in thing, he was almost chased out of Abimelech's kingdom as though he was a child or a dog. He was just sent away. There was no acknowledgement that he was a child of promise. There was no recognition of who he was. He was just sent away. But we are going to read Genesis 26 from verse 26 to 29. Since we have not touched you, and since we have done nothing to you but good, and have sent you away in peace, you are now the blessed of the Lord. Verse 29 is such a testimony that Isaac's enemy was able to recognize that the blessing of God was upon him. That is what establishment is. That other people will recognize what God is doing in your life. Being established means that everyone will not be able to deny. In fact, they will testify that God is with you. But God had always been with Isaac. But the difference is that now others are able to testify. So my prayer for you in 2023 is that even your enemies will testify that God is with you. Another thing that we draw from being established is that it means you have a seat at the table. The enemies of Isaac came to invite him to the seat of agreement and treaty making. That's a very big thing. Before he was just a child of Abraham, but now they recognize him as someone who could sit at the table and be trusted to make decisions and to arbitrate on behalf of others. So my question to you is, can God trust you with such a responsibility? Can God place the well-being, the purpose, the plans that he has for other people in your hands? Would you be counted faithful and worthy to draw other people to God, to be responsible for them knowing God and for them being blessed by God? When you are established, that is one thing that will happen to you. So as we redig and repossess the wells of our fathers, my prayer is that God would find us worthy to represent our generation, that we may be able to stand in the courts of heaven and contend for our generation, that others will not be lost because of the work that we'll do, the prayers that we will offer, the sacrifices that we will make, because we are being established. Being established means being set up in permanence. So when Isaac came to Rehoboth and Beersheba, he was able to put down roots. The Bible actually says that that's why he raised his sons, and his sons started getting married. He actually was able to attain something that Abraham did not get, a place of rest, a place of settling. He found the favor and the presence of God in that place, and he put down roots. So being established also means setting up in permanence. Isaac was able to settle in Rehoboth. He put down roots, he raised his family, and he built a city. He built a city called Beersheba in that place. So when God allows us and enables us to successfully uncover and repossess our father's wells, we have no more need to fear famine. You can be sure that if famine ever came again, Isaac did not need to move. He did not need to go to Gerar. He did not need to consider relocating his family to Egypt. He was established in Rehoboth, where there was everything he would need to live and to prosper. So there's a difference. There's a difference, as we've spoken about before. There's a difference between being a well digger and the possessor of wells and being someone who just has a cup of water. When you have a cup of water, you will just drink for that moment. But when you have the blueprint, you know the mechanism, you know the process of digging a well. When you possess wells, plural wells, then you have no more need to fear when famine comes, when hard times come. When hard times come, when the devil brings, we have found water. Verse 33 says, so he called it Sheba. Therefore, the name of the city is Beersheba to this day. When you are established, not only are you a well digger and an altar builder, you are a city builder. From